Hello, welcome to another episode of Sunlight Soul, where Mila and I pull some cards. And today is a special day. We are sitting on the edge of the Leo full moon. And do you have any opening thoughts about this? How do you feel?
Yeah, it's been quite a lot of energy. Both of us, Aaron and I, having a lot of fixed placements. So we definitely been embodying this energy for a few days now. And as we're recording this, literally the full moon is about to peak. So this is happening in real time, guys. We are pulling cards for you exactly as the Leo full moon is happening in the sky. So let's see what energy is going to want to come through. And yeah, as I mentioned in my videos, and I'm sure Aaron mentioned in his, this is the final lunation before the eclipses and the final one with Saturn in Pisces for some of us in our lifetime. So let's see what is going to bring around from summer 2025. So this is what we're working on.
Yeah, all right. So ending the snake year, heading into the eclipse season, and we're kicking it off with this Leo full moon.
That's right.
So let me start pulling some cards just for our highest, most optimal expression of life. I'm going to be pulling from the Crowley Thoth deck, and this is the pocket size, so hopefully the images are good to see. So with divination, any information, take what resonates, leave the rest. This is just energy. We're just reading energy here. And you can read energy for yourself. And when you read energy for yourself, it's good to have multiple different ciphers from which to get a more holistic understanding of what it is you're digesting, what you're going through in life. So divination is one thing. We've got the astrology going on, and we also have some intentions. So for this Leo full moon, I'm pulling some cards based off of what's the energy of this moment and how can we use this energy going forward for our best lives. So right away, I've got two cards fell. I will show you in a moment. I want one more card here. So first card is the Aeon, which is judgment. And the second card is the Knight of Discs, so Knight of Pentacles. Oh, all right. On the bottom of the deck here, the underlying energy is the Knight of Wands, and that's that Leo full moon. So on display, passion on display. At the top of the deck here is the Emperor. All right, so last card was a double. We'll get to that though. First card out here is 20. This is the Aeon. If I can get this thing to focus. What is the Aeon? So this is a good reminder, the Aeon is the ending and beginning of cycles. It's the embodiment of what it is to be the Fool in real time. Like mixing your intuition and your intentions together. So it is judgment in action. And here you can see an oversoul, a being in the middle, and an energetic cocoon. And it looks like a portal or a doorway with two deities in the background. And there's some birds down there at the bottom, I believe. And look at these colors, red, blue, gold, orange. I'm colorblind, but that's what it looks like to me. So what kind of spirit are you cultivating? What are you bringing into life right now? When I see this, I think of the mind-body spirit being brought online and being brought online through action, through necessity. What is it that makes you feel alive, gets you going, gets you moving? And do you have any thoughts on this card?
Well, for me, in a traditional tarot deck, in the traditional major arcana, the card of the judgment has the people coming out of their graves, coming out of the caskets, and there is that angel that is calling you. So always this card for me represents, it's like the higher self wants us to answer the call of the destiny. And we know that Leo as the archetype is associated with one's purpose and destiny in life. Like, what did I come here to create? What is the unique soul signature that I came here to bring through, to manifest something from, right? Because like as Aaron and I were talking about only yesterday in our personal conversation, the energies that we are processing, the emotions that we are embodying, they're not new. These have been around for a very long time, but our expression of them and what we choose to do with them, that's unique to you. So with the judgment coming online and obviously being a major arcana, one before the last, and as I already mentioned, this is the final lunation with Saturn in Pisces, so the karma is playing out. Saturn as karma, Pisces as all that was before, right, the previous cycles, Piscean age, and we are now entering after this lunation into eclipses, and soon, just as Aaron mentioned, with the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius, which is the next lunation to follow, we'll be entering into new lunar year, which will be the fire horse. So the energies will continue to be shifting, and for me, this with the judgment, in connection with the judgment, is that the time of like sitting down and healing and just like trying to introspect all the time, that time is coming to the end, because the snake is just about to finish and the action will be required, and obviously that's connected to the other cards that Aaron is going to talk about.
Yeah, very well said. And in this card in judgment here, you can see the yellow at the center, and in the background of this Knight of Discs, which is the Knight of Pentacles, you can see the sun behind the shield, behind the mountain off in the distance, and you see this horse here looking one way, eating the grass, and you've got this knight on the horseback, got the shield up, ready to, basically they're here now, they're protected from the future, but there's this bright light coming off in the distance, and this knight looks like they took their helmet off. The persona is coming off. They're looking with their authentic expression. They're using their eyes and they're feeling the rays of the sun, the change. And so there's times in life where you have to chop wood, carry water, and get what you have to do done. And there's times when you can look off. Okay, you've accumulated a lot of experience. You've gone through a lot of things. You've done enough healing. You've identified a lot of archetypes, experiences in your own life, relational dynamics with which you brought something forward, but it was denied or it wasn't quite ready to be shared. Well, now is the time where you can see that you're almost to the sunrise here. And it's time to begin to share. You can put the shield down, you can take the persona off, and you can stand in your authentic expression. You're going to take time to enjoy these times because the world is changing, but we change as well, and we can slow it down when we get into a rhythm of life, a ritual of life.
Yeah, for me, with the Knight of Pentacles, usually it's a slower movement, and we might feel like we've been moving through molasses, like, hey, you know, like things are not changing that quickly, you know, like we've gone through so much already and we don't see much of a result, right? It's kind of like we're awaiting the result. So where is the result? Also, the Knight of Pentacles, isn't it like Virgo energy kind of?
Yes.
So that is all about the embodiment of the hero's journey, human's journey. We're just about, with the Virgo energy, we're moving from the lower hemisphere of the chart into the upper hemisphere. So it's not just about me, it's about everyone. But I needed to go through experience of life, you know, Aries to Virgo, to realize that. So with the Knight of Pentacles, we've gone through experience, especially when you look at this in correlation with this Leo full moon. We've gone through the past 6 months from the new moon in Leo, which actually was at the end of July. It was an early one on 2 degrees of Leo. So we went through this period of time where already at the time we had the planets in the new sign, Saturn, Neptune were already in Aries, but retrograde. Uranus was already on the zero of Gemini, and then they gone back into the signs where they are at the moment, even though Neptune now is back in Aries. So what have you learned in the past, since summer last year until now, that now we're making changes about, we have the realization. So I feel with this Knight of Pentacles in this particular instance, it's like, okay, well, we've gone through whatever you've experienced in this particular incarnation, even though it's on the back of those who came before, shoulders of those who came before that, in connection with the first card, which was the Judgment. Now we are being called into action that, okay, now where am I going from here? With the Knight of Pentacles, you might feel that, well, nothing is changing in the world, that same suffering, same division, separation, look at the state of the world, what have you learned as a humanity? But we know that there is a lot of change, a lot of energies are present that are allowing for things to manifest in a different way. So the change might not come overnight, it might not be quick, but we've already gone a long way. We just because we don't see how far or how close we are, because with Virgo there is no end of the journey, but we've gone a long way. So again, in connection with the cards that to follow, just hold on in there, because the next lunation in Leo will be an eclipse, the one in summer. So
Yes, yeah, very well said. And here's 2 more cards fell for this last bit of this poll, and that's the 2 of Wands, Mars. It's Aries, so first decan of Aries here, 2 of Wands energy. The passionate choice, it's the decision, how do you move forward with passion? And the second card that fell is the Prince of Wands. This is like the Page of Wands. What speaks to your inner fire? What helps you when you're making a passionate choice? What is the thing that's been on the back burner your whole life? What is the purity of what you want to create, what you want to bring forward? Now, we know in these times of change that judgment is upon us, and we judge ourselves by what we do as much as what we don't do. And so when we're learning what our value is and how we can bring that forward into this world more authentically, we are posed with these choices here. And when you're following your heart, when you're leading with passion, especially with this Leo full moon, you can move towards that which makes you feel alive and see the lion here in this. It looks like Helios in the chariot of the sun, but it's with a lion rather than the horses. And so this is a full moon energy, which is about igniting your inner sun. What makes you feel alive? How do you bring that forward? And how do you grasp this fire horse here that's coming, this Knight of Wands energy, Sagittarius here? How do you bring that forward in a way that makes you feel empowered, and you don't need to take from others in order to do that? You have enough of your own to burn.
Yeah, so when we look at all of these 5 cards together, we can see that, of course, Judgment is the Pluto card. It's about transformation, transmutation, about becoming something completely different to what you thought you were, especially for people who experience Pluto square, Neptune square, Uranus opposition, the pivotal year of everybody's, most people's life, between the age of 40 and 45. This is where many people's life kind of completely transformed. They become someone different to who they were when they were 20-year-old, right? When they make choices they made before they had Saturn return and stuff. So that's what I mean. So when we connect all of these cards, with the Judgment, the consciousness is rising, your spirit is rising, and yeah, it's been a long time, but things had to play out. The Virgo, things have to happen the way that sometimes doesn't make any sense to us, but they have to play out because we don't know what else is there within the contracts with everybody else involved. And then we have these 3 cards that are all fire, a lot of fire. So that's what I feel, just like I already mentioned, that we come into the times slowly but surely to be moving into this year of the fire horse. And then Saturn is moving into the sign of Aries prior to the new moon's solar eclipse in Aquarius and the fire horse beginning. And then we will have Uranus moving back into Gemini at the end of April. Chiron is moving in June. Jupiter is moving at the end of the June into the sign of Leo. And then in summer we'll have the nodes moving. So we are approaching the times when things are going to start moving very quickly. So you might feel that nothing's been happening. I've been been healing and I've been doing the shadow work, I've been doing so much stuff for maybe years, maybe decades, and you feel nothing's changed, nothing is happening. Trust me, things are going to start changing quickly. They're going to start moving quickly, especially now then there's so much going on that it's awakening a very strong emotions within us, whether that's anger, whether that's fear, whether that's whatever it is, frustration, it doesn't matter, but there are so many things going on outside of us, which in many cases are completely outside of our control, that are bringing up a lot of fire, whether it's in the form of anger or whatever shape and form the emotion takes, but there is a lot of stirring. So this energy will want to be manifest, and the choice, the Two of Wands, is like, what do you want to do with it? How do you want to use this energy, or it will use you, right? So I feel that this full moon in Leo, which is the illumination of the seeding of the new energy that was present with us already throughout 2025, but not yet ready to be manifest, but the manifestation is coming, especially with Chiron moving into Taurus, which is the seed, which is the roots, right? The roots of the new growth. We will see more and more changes, and they will be coming around quickly, much faster than we think. So don't think that this Knight of Pentacles is going to be very slow. It's going to speed up very quickly. So I feel that this moon in some way is kind of like a switching point.
Yeah, and that's true. With this fire horse energy, we're closing out that wood snake year. So as soon as you're done digesting the grass here, that horse is going to take off, and you're going to go over that hill, over that unknown. Maybe it's another sunrise. Maybe it's a vision, a dream. Maybe it's your future right here, right now, through your passion, bringing the purity to life.
All right, we're going to pull some oracle cards. I'm going to use the Queen of the Sun this time because it is the full moon in Leo, ruled by the Sun. So let's see what energy, what is the further guidance with regards to this lunation that is happening as we speak. Okay, renewal, perfect, because as I mentioned, this lunation does represent to me a switching point. You can see she has this big sun, like this big energy in the solar plexus, and this is a card 36. So certain things are ending, certain things are beginning. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the card of the wheel. And I have seen this card coming up multiple times in the past few readings that I have done. So, and it's at number 7. So what is the higher line? Also 7 in the major arcana is the Chariot. So things are moving quickly. If you have the will, and to put the fire into to focus the fire into that which you want to create, just like this person, she's very focused. She's very focused. It's at her kind of solar plexus heart. You can even say heart, like what it is that my heart desires. You know, she's very focused, and with that energy you can manifest anything, you know. Also you can see all these flowers blooming. Maybe we can say that, okay, maybe this is also an indicator of the summer, right? The summer season, when we will have, as I already mentioned, the new moon in Leo, the eclipse, first solar eclipse in Leo, 12th of August, and that will be also a lunation where everything will be already in a new signs. We will have already Chiron also in a new signs. The nodes will have shifted by that point. So you can will what you want into manifestation, but you can see this person, her eyes are closed. So it's the feminine, you know, you are wanting, well, not wanting, you are bringing the change from inside out. You are not running around like headless chicken trying to beat people on the head, you know, like, hey, why are you not doing what I want you to be doing? She is still. You know, the things are moving around her, but she is still, she's focused. So we can have, we see two females here, which their energy is very focused. They are not moving. So the change is happening internally, and then the external will adjust to your frequency.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm picking up as well. Where there's a will, there's a way. So this is the conscious realization of your will. To being aware, just being present in real time. And this heart chakra, this energy that comes from the solar plexus and lights up your heart, makes you live from a passionate place. It is where the will is involved. You don't need to know the mental logistics. A lot of times simplicity is all the purity you need, because the more information you have, the more paralysis of analysis, because you have to digest variables. So living from the heart, moving from the will, when the passion is igniting your drive, then the mind is tuned in and you're actually creating. You're in a creative flow. So this, to me, 9 and 7, you know, the Martian energy, but also with the Neptunian spirit, and just merging this energy, Leo to Pisces, Neptune at 0 degrees Aries, Saturn coming into Aries. So this is about willing your spirit to form through embracing that which nourishes your spirit and your soul, makes you feel alive.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like another oracle, or would you like to pull from yours?
I can pull. How about one more oracle?
All right. Let's do the crossroads.
Okay.
Because many people might feel that they are at the crossroads at the moment, and I mean, it is the full moon, which it's a midpoint. It's the halfway of the cycle, lunational cycle. The cycle starts and gets reset by the new moon always. So let's see what these crossroads represent for us. And we know that there is a massive stellium in Aquarius as we speak. So there are a lot of new phase conjunctions going on. We had a lot of conjunctions recently, and all of those are in opposition with the moon herself. So so many people might feel like, which way do I go right now? So let's see about the cosmic crossroads. All right. This is a card that's been coming up a lot last year when I was using this deck, and one fell on the floor. Let me grab that one.
Betrayal.
Yeah, betrayal.
Yeah.
Then we have hope. Hope. And then at the bottom of the deck, wow, discontentment. I've never seen this card before. All right, would you like to start with those?
Yeah, let's start. So betrayal here. Like the hooded, I mean, not just blindfolded, but completely ensnared in the cobwebs of deceit here, the past. This is the womb of creation. The ignorance we require in order to bloom pure. You know, a lot of times if you are acting in what you think to be correct, or the entrainment of past experiences, you lose sight of the fact that you're growing, you're progressing, you're shedding skins. And we have the wisdom of the owl there. This, to me, really feels like the wisdom of the crone, the Saturnian energy through the female form. Number 4, foundation. Is that a 4? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got...
And today adds up to number 4.
Yeah.
February 1st of the year 10.
Our foundation is the womb of existence itself, the void of all creation, embracing that feminine quality so that you can cultivate wisdom through your experiences and realize the hope that's right here, right now, always. It's when preparations meets your will in real time, you're able to generate abundance, you're able to get luck, so to speak. Basically, you're able to respond rather than react. And when you're in response mode, you're more of a creative flow. And here we've got this,
Like an eclipse.
yeah, an eclipse here. We're coming into this eclipse portal. So remember, where there's betrayal, we see it in our leaders, we see it in our cultures, we see it within ourselves and the people we care about, because we're learning through our ignorance. And there's always hope, because tomorrow always brings a new day, and that's...
I pulled this card additionally because I didn't want to end with the discontentment.
Yeah, see the discontentment here? They're looking good. They look like they're on display. They've got the flowers behind them. They're sitting on the dove, the piece of the truth of who and what they believe is correct for them. But truly, it is divine discontentment, because to settle on the foundation of the past, it's not to cultivate it. This is 13, the death card. It's transmutational energy.
15.
15? Oh, okay.
Even
So
better,
this
devil.
is, the devil card. So when you can see the form behind this wheel, this circle, and the emotions underneath, it looks like the seagull or the dove is settling on it or carrying it, carrying it past the truth of the book of wisdom there that was written when this person was settled by their experiences. And when you can move past your own judgments and you can forgive yourself, then you can forgive the ignorance, and you can see that people are learning in their own ways, and they all have different cycles and seasons, and you can bloom into your own awareness here through transmutational energies by overcoming what it is you think is correct. And this is 16, the star card.
16, the
Or
tower.
the tower card, yeah. Tower.
But it looks like a star card.
Yeah, I know. She looks like she's, she's in the universe of creation. She's like imagining a new existence. She's also, it's like nested in earth. And she's coming up with the mushrooms, and she's,
Butterfly wings.
yeah, butterfly wing. She's shining under this cosmos of creation. What are you picking up?
Well, these cards, to me, they perfectly say a story. So when you look at all of them together, so the betrayal, I'm just going to repeat what I already said with regards to this card in the past with the number 4. Like, where have we been betraying ourselves by giving our blood, our life force to the structures, the number 4, the Saturn, the Capricorn, right? And it's curious that it came with the card of the 15, the discontent, because just like Aaron said, with the, if you think about it as devil, to me, these two cards are connected, like at some point this which now is dying was new, with the white, it was new, it was maybe it was pure, the intentions, I'm sure in many cases were good, people who created, even people who came up with the atom bomb, like the intentions weren't to kill humanity, like the intentions were good, right? People, like as we try to sometimes say that, you do the wrong things with the, with the right intention, or vice versa. So with this betrayal, and also you can see the owl here, to me we are starting to realize where I've been bleeding, where I've been shedding my blood, my life force for things that are not as innocent as I thought, or maybe they're not as pure, they like, what have we learned over the times, with the wisdom of the ancestors, the owl, which now is allowing us and helping us to see that these structures, these the number 4, the structure of reality, the systems, the what we thought was safe and secure actually is draining us, and we are not even being seen, we are just a cog in a wheel, we don't matter, that it's taking our life force, but we are all replaceable, currently many of us, especially people who are creators, they are being replaced by AI, right? So, like with this discontent, like, yeah, you might feel like, oh yeah, I made it in this world, I have that car, I have that whatever status, she's like on a pedestal, like the whole world looks at me and think I'm successful because I'm living by somebody else's rules, but am I even being seen? This person is not even looking straight. And yeah, just like Aaron said, the book, when the book was written, like when the history was written, this all made sense. It all held a meaning and purpose at that time, but the times have changed, so with the 15, with the devil, yes, we have made choice, the 6, the lovers, the choices were made that brought us to a certain point, but the choices can always be made anew, right? We can always change that. So there is a hope, like all of this that's now becoming clear to us, like, oh my God, I'm draining my life force for what? I'm not even happy, like, yeah, I might have the comfort, but am I happy? Am I living in my authentic expression? This is all really kind of like a black and white, like kind of like, like, yeah, it's okay, but there is no color to it. So with these two cards, with the hope and the expansion, we are here at the like kind of like entering a portal, we are entering the portal of the eclipse season, and the first one of those will be the Aquarius, even though the nodes are still in Pisces and Virgo, and as we already mentioned multiple times, the beginning of the lunar year of the horse. And this is is the card 22, which is another 4, right? So there is a hope. There is a hope that something else is coming, you know, some new energy is coming, the energy of renewal. 22 is the master number frequency, is the master builder, that we are creating something new. We're in co-creation with the universe, with the higher self. Why? Because of the expansion, because of something that we don't yet even understand. Jupiter is still retrograde until 10th of March, you know, so after the eclipse in Virgo. But with this person, you can see she's naked, so it is almost like a star card. So all of these disruptions, you know, like the 16, like the Tower. Again, we already had the card number 7, and also you can think of it as a, you know, as a, like, what have we learned, you know, especially with the owl, you know, the visit, and what have we learned, like all this suffering, this everything that passed in everything that was sacrificed, all this blood, you know, the blood, you can think of it as the ancestor line, as the blood that was being shed, the blood that was being soaked into this planet. Like, what was it for? What is the meaning? What is the purpose? What is the wisdom of the ancestors? And now we have the opportunity to step into new portal, into a new timelines where we are not negating that was meaningful. It was meaningful because it brought us to where we are at the moment, but there is no, it's time for us to be reborn, to grow our wings and fly, to transform into something different that is beyond with the universe, beyond the limitations of the physical, beyond the limitations of what was. So yeah, we are at the crossroad, because the old that no longer holds a meaning and creates the discontent in the world, in your heart, it's becoming very obvious and it's painful, and we can no longer carry on that way, because we all, the soul, our spirit is pulling us in the direction of this unknown, into this transformation that we don't know what it even means. But in a sense, I don't know how much choice we have in a matter, especially coming into eclipse season.
Yeah, well said. So that full moon energy we have in Leo right now, how do we bring that fire forward? What's some ideas? What are some energies to consider in our own lives as we go forward here through this eclipse season, with this anointing energy of the Leo sun, the purity of our expression, and a reason to burn? All right, so I'm going to pull from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck here. We'll just get a couple cards, and then we can pull an overarching, I suppose. All right, let me see if I get one or two more.
Oh.
All right. At the bottom is Father of Cups. Here. That's the King of Cups. What popped up first here was the Ace of Swords, Sword of Truth here. You can see the lemon skate, the infinity symbol, all the colors of the elements. 2 lightning strikes hitting this, igniting. You know, we are like moving antenna. We are in relation to existence. And what else popped, and these were reversed, but just take them as they're in process. We're bringing the tension forward. You know, you use the tension, or it uses you. So there was 5 of Wands. You know, divine discontent and the tension of creation. You know, are we going to use it to stir shit? Are we going to use it to make a mess? Are we going to clean up with that tension, put it to use for us, and bring ourselves to the court of cosmic law, justice here? In this deck, it's similar to the Thoth deck, number 8 in this deck, but 8 and 11. And these are the secret numbers of strength and justice. So the amount of effort you put into existence is what justice you get. So a lot of times we feel like we're treated unfairly, we don't have the right perspective. We're learning. We're bringing together our light and our dark, the reason and the meaning. And a lot of times the reason is correct, but the meaning takes time to understand. Or the meaning is wrong and the reasons are taking time to understand. We have to understand that this world is creation, and we have Sword of Truth here, We bring that down. It looks like, there's an eclipse here in the middle, this diamond, the yin and yang here. So we're bringing that together and we're giving birth to this daughter of pentacles here. This is a fawn, a baby deer. This is new creation. This is a spring energy coming into realization. So what are you bringing? What opportunity can you bring for yourself into reality and share with those of like-spirited mind? That's what I feel the energy of this full moon can lead us towards this eclipse season with. How are you reading these?
Do you want to use the last one as well?
Sure.
No.
Oh, yeah. And here's the King of Cups here. This is scorpionic energy, but it's all water. And a swan can swim, it can go underwater, it can fly, it can go on land. It can do everything here. Right there, it's the shadow, but when it flies in the sunlight, it becomes easier to see, easier to feel. You can see that this bill is red, so there's this passion here deep in the shadows we're bringing up. What's in alignment with you? What feels right by your emotional standards? How do you bring your fire and your emotions together so that you can create from a place of power rather than disempowerment?
So I'm gonna go with the 4, and then I'll speak of the Father of Cups, which was at the bottom. So the first one was the 5 of Wands, which I believe is the Leo, right? The 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the Leo as the Wands, the second decan, and the first decan of Leo. So it's Leo. So either way, things are being stirred up. This is for many of us, and usually I look at this card as something not desired, because most of the, if not all of them, the 5s are the cards that create a chaos, the chaos agents. There are also cards that are like, they are bringing us into the present moment by bringing to our face or attention something that we don't really want to deal with, right? Like the stirring of the poop. So we have these 5 ones that are coming up for us, as we can see, with the state of the world and potentially your own state of affairs in your personal life. There are things that are not particularly desired, they are still maybe not where you want them to be, they're not balanced, there is still a lot of chaos going on there. Why is this happening? Because of the Leo, right? The Leo, we have the hidden energy of Leo, because a new creation wants to be manifest, just like we had here, right? We have the hope for expansion of humanity, for new things to be manifest, the renewal, right? Here we go. So this is why these things are happening. Everything that is not in resonance and a frequency match to these new energies are coming up, and with the 5 wars, they're going to be trampled over, right? So this is why things don't feel so fantastic right now, because we already have the energy of the new, but at the same time the old is still in a manifested form, so the two are like a clash because they are not frequency match. At the same time, we have the Ace of Swords and this Justice card, or the sword, or strength, however you want to look at it, the number 8. But also I can also see it kind of like a little bit of a Chariot and High Priestess hiding there because of the black and white, the conscious and the unconscious, the dark and the light, right? So we have all of these energies present, right? So the Ace of Swords usually for me represents like a new contract, like there is new clarity, new vision, new contract, like I'm signing up for something new. I'm pulling that sword out of the ground, and I'm gonna be the one to run off with it to create something new because I had that idea, right? And then we have this strength, justice, however you want to look at. Why is this happening? Because there are things that are extremely out of balance in the world, in our inner world and outer world, which both mirror each other. So yeah, it's the dark and the light has to be present, because if you don't experience anything that's unwanted, how the hell would you even know what you want, right? Like everything holds a purpose and a meaning, and we have to cultivate the strength to be able to deal with both, because if life was just easy, then we would be just weak. We wouldn't we wouldn't have any strength, we wouldn't have any resilience, we would die with the first conflict, right? And if things were difficult all the time, then there is no point fighting, because what is the hope, right? So the things are always striving for balance, always. There's a justice, and as I mentioned, now with the Saturn moving out of Pisces for the final time for the next almost 3 decades, things wants to be balanced because there is this new energy coming through. They're saying, why drag this with us into the new cycle? It's not serving, it's not, working for us anymore. So we need to start thinking in a new way, because we know that one of the Hermetic principles is the universe is mental, right? What you think creates your reality. And then we have this Daughter of Pentacles, which is the page of Pentacles, which said there is opportunity for a new destiny, for a new seed to grow, for something new to be created. So all of these cards together are technically, again, in sequence, are saying a story that is just confirming everything else, that it's saying, yeah, there are a lot of things that are happening that are unwanted. They are not particularly comfortable. We don't like them. A lot of chaos, a lot of arguments, a lot of, things, a lot of fire, a lot of anger, right? But why is that happening? Because things are not in balance, and a lot of us, have to see things manifested in the world by, played out by someone else to realize, oh yeah, this is energy that is still to a certain extent in me, and I'm happy to let this energy go, right? So I am not needing to pay attention to this anymore because my focus will be somewhere else. So yeah, so the justice things are wanting to be balanced through the new creation, new idea, new purpose, new destiny, new manifested form. Why? Because the Father of Cups, and yeah, I know there is the black swan that is like an analogy for something, but when we just look at it from the perspective of the King of Cups, because when all of us are in charge with our thoughts and emotions, you master the matrix. When you know how to master your thoughts and your emotions, your mind and your emotions, then nobody can do anything to you anymore, right? So yeah, the black swan, whatever is going on out there, is it good, is it bad, is it a conspiracy, what is it? Is it destiny, is it evil, is it aliens? It doesn't matter what it is. It seriously doesn't matter. What it is serving with the Scorpio energy is to help you to find the strength and power within you. So no matter what the hell is going on out there, you at any moment of any situation are able to bring yourself back to the center, justice, right? Bring yourself back to the center, accept that the dark also exists in me. Maybe I'm not feeding it, just like the two wolves, right? The story of the two wolves. Maybe I'm choosing not to feed it, but it exists in me. Every one of us has the choice to embody whatever we want, the dark or the light. So am I able to center myself and to neutralize whatever is going on in my mind, in my emotions, in the world, in my family, in my relationships, to be the conscious creator of my reality? But yeah, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what the analogy of the black swan means. I'm sure you do, so if you want to speak to that.
Black swan events, generally these can be seen as conspiratorial headlines or events which happen. You can look at financial system changes, embargoes, trade disputes, political battling between different nations, threatening of war, terrorist attacks. You can think of hacking. You can think of power grid failures. You can think of a lot of systems failing, Hegelian dialectic, problem response resolution. So when systems are systematically failing, planned obsolescence at a societal systematic level, so that we are more acquiescent and open to a new way of being, a new way of relating. And so this can pull your emotions in, so your mind is unable to connect dots. And so that's why when you are in a creative flow, when you are living from your heart space and you are trying to bring your passion into existence, it's harder for you to get pulled out of balance. You're seeing multiple colors, not just the black and white, but you're feeling the passion and where it's leading. And you can see where the logismoi, or the story, is bringing us, the narratives, how they're spinning things, like immigration issues which lead to more tyrannical measures to ensure you are a citizen or you're safe or you're this person, you're identified as this metric in the system and your value is this. And So there is a lot of things which a black swan can lead us to, which we normally wouldn't be open to because we're seeking safety and security. So mixing the emotions and the mind, get centered with your passion, create from that, and you won't be swayed as easily.
All right, so with now what Aaron explained, you can look at this card from the perspective of the macro. Just like I say, you can also see the globe here, right? How many things are not balanced in the world because the few own everything, the few are on control of everything. Literally, few companies in the world owned by a very small number of people own everything in the world. So there is not really an Aquarian frequency for the world to be a huge monopoly, right? So with regards to that, yes, you know, more and more things are coming up, more disclosures where people are becoming aware and they're becoming angry, you know, it's like, not in my name, you know. So now when we look at this card from that perspective, like, oh, okay, what is this black swan, you know, like, yeah, to create emotional dysregulation, to manifest the agenda of those few, but you don't even know it's happening because they understand the universal law. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, you know, but they do, you know, they know astrology, they understand, they know exactly what's going on, and that's how they plan, right? So the universe, based on as I already mentioned, the universe always strives for balance. So we came, and this is how I've been feeling for a few years now, but now especially with the Neptune now back in Aries to stay, you know, we will never experience Aries in Pisces in our life, Saturn moving back into Aries. So these things have to end, you know, this is no longer in alignment with what is desired by the source, what is desired by the universe, what is in alignment by the balance in the universe. So what does this mean? This means that we have to create a new way of being. Yes, be innocent like the lamb, like the Bambi, you know, we have to learn from the beginning to build anew, right? Like we had all these cards with the number 4, you know, because of the betrayal, because our blood is used for nurturing something that you don't necessarily get to enjoy. And yeah, and then with this one, you know, like I said, with the clarity, but also you can look at it, what's coming to me because of the infinity symbol, the magician. You have the power to create a new universe. You have the power, just like the magician, and we are in the year 1, the year 0 and the 110, you know, magician frequency and the fool and the wheel of fortune. Things are turning, and the many that have a very think that they don't have a power, right? Power will be taking the power back, saying that no, we're not gonna be living this way anymore, in constant conflict, division, separation, because this doesn't feel good, you know, this doesn't feel good to us anymore, and we don't want to be like the leaf in the wind, constantly blown in whatever direction of the new agendas, conspiracy, whatever the hell is going on there, feeling emotionally dysregulated in fear, manifesting the wet dreams of those few. So what needs to happen is that a new way of being has to be created, new way of being on this planet, the pentacles, the earth, the mother earth. How? By becoming the magician, by becoming the King Arthur of your own universe, right, where you pull the sword and you manifest because you are infinite creator. So yeah, so you can put these cards in whatever perspective you would and put any spin on them, but the gist of the things is the same. We came to the point, to the crossroad as a humanity, where a lot of things are becoming illuminated to us. And yeah, exactly, the Two of Wands. A choice has to be made, whether am I going to keep feeding this, which creates a discontent and it's no longer in alignment, or I'll just have to step into the unknown. Yeah, that's a good card too. And just see what happens. What else can we create? How else can we live? You know, even though I don't know where the hell I'm going, you know, I'm just a Bambi over here. I just learned how to stand, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, the world can get you down. You know, you can feel like you're in the 5 of Cups. You know, we lost what we had. We used to be a great nation. We used to have a great family. We used to be fit and sure within ourselves, but then things change and we're unsure. You know, we can't be sure of anything. It's the death of absolution, and we see where all our leaders, all our heroes have died in vain because they themselves were the game that we thought we were winning, that we thought we were overcoming. You know, we were on the linear projection from A to Z, but now we're seeing its cycles, and it's up to me, up to you, up to us to realize that we betray ourselves, and it's okay because you can make adjustments and you can live more authentic in the process.
And now
the mask.
Now I understand with the Bambi coming up, why I felt drawn to take this oracle deck, which is called The Whispers of Nature, and it's very like a children's book, but it's very easy to read, and it's got butterflies at the back, so it is all about transformation. I hope you can see the butterflies. So let's see what oracles we get from the Mother Nature, because we are co-creating always with the Mother Nature, consciously or unconsciously. So let's see what. Oops. Okay. Okay. We have a lot of cards that jumped out. I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna keep the one that fell on the floor.
Heighten your vitality is one of them.
All right. Here we go. And what is the bottom? This
Seeking
one.
beauty.
Okay, one more. Let's have 4.
Oh, okay. So let's put them in order here as they fell. I'll let you speak on them first.
Let's take this one too out. On this one was on the top. These are beautiful cards, very like fairy tale like from a children fairy tale book.
Yeah, look at these. Feel into them.
And this one was spoken out, so I took that one.
All right. This is cool. Tuition. All right. Here. Here is the order.
Oh wow, we have quite interesting numbers there. So the intuition is actually number 36, which is the card that I believe we began with somewhere. We had the 36 somewhere.
Yeah, that was one of the oracles here.
Yeah, this one. The renew, yes, that was the 36. So here we got the intuition, 36. Then we have the make a wish, which is number 1, the year we are in. Ideal course of action, which is the 37, again number 10, number 1. Seek beauty, 44, and we already had the number 22, which was the hope. So here we got double that, 44, another like a master number frequency. And then the final one was the heighten your vitality. So just like looking at this card, and there's so much that we could dive into, but we don't want to make this 2-hour-long video. Like she's got the dandelion there. So if you just look at all of these cards and, the messages in them and what they represent, for me, what Mother Nature is saying is that if you connect with your intuition, and focus on what it is that you want to create, which your heart will tell you. Your heart will tell you what it is, what it is that sets your heart on fire. You can see the crown chakra is activated. We are continuously in communication with our higher self. And ideal course of action is to seek beauty. So, and just to mention the last card again, heighten your vitality. So I know there's been so much talk through every single person I follow, friends, family, everyone, about nervous system, right? South Node in Virgo. Virgo is connected to nervous system, and how, many of us are predominantly in sympathetic nervous system response, constant fear, stress, what's going to happen, how am I going to pay my bills, blah, 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 can't even plan, control nothing. So we are always in the sympathetic nervous system mode, so the body never feels like it can recover, it can rest, and it's got a tool, the whole world is feeling like, oh my God, how much longer I can't, like how much longer we have to live this way. So there is a big message from many spiritual teachers, I'm sure from your own higher self, you feel it in your body, that we need to take care of ourselves. Take care of your body, take care of your vitality, because if the basics are not being taken care of, it's very difficult to connect with your intuition and go into imagination, like, oh yeah, let me try to imagine, this amazing life for myself, and I'm, worrying about everything, right? So that is kind of, to me, like because it is 49, which, simplifies as number 4, again, the 13-4. So that is the bones to everything, the structure. Take care of you, take care of your body, be mindful mindful of where is your limit. And then you can connect with your intuition. Then you can make a wish, what it is you want to manifest. Then you can focus on the beautiful, or better than, like how are you going to create that which you desire? Focus on the nice things in life, not on all the fear, even though we cannot live in la la land 24/7, but what we focus on, we create more of, right? Where your attention, yeah, exactly.
Energy flows.
So Mother Nature is saying, take care of you, and then everything else will fall into place. It will be easier to connect with your childlike innocence, to look into the horizon and see beautiful things, to make a wish and trust and believe that it is possible to manifest when the basics are taken care of.
Yeah, and to bring all this Aquarian energy online, it takes individuality. It takes you as an individual. Unity is diversity in relation. If everything's the same, it's just a monoculture. It's not different. It's not real. There's no contrast. So we gotta not necessarily fight for our independence, but we have to live authentic. And when you live from your heart, you do not seek the refuge of replication, no matter how perfect or rewarded that is. And so a lot of people will be learning that replication is not actually a reward. It's just a safe haven, and it's only a safe haven for a set amount of time, because automation comes, systems seek to be optimized. So we got to get back to nature, so old it's new, and bring our consciousness into creation for new systems to rise. What are things we can take from the old, which are still valuable and hold some truth in the legacies of the purity of who we are as individuals and a species? How can we bring that forward? And in a way in which we are not living in a Kali Yuga, we are embodying the golden time within ourselves, the golden aeon of creation, the age of creation. And every desert has an oasis, and you can find it for yourselves, but you gotta learn how to get into your intuition and follow the breeze, the wind, the purity. Get out of the mind and into the senses, and to do that, get in your purity. Find what feeds and nourishes your spirit, your fire, and bring that forward.
Good.
That's all I got.
That feels right.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're gonna leave the last one for another time.
Yep.
Because we come into an hour. We were intending to make this shorter, but there is a lot that wants to be said with this Leo full moon.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And it's preparing us for this year. It's the last lunation of, actually, yeah, it is the last lunation of this wood snake.
Yes, it is.
So the next lunation is our intro to the fire horse energy. So be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, and you can bring that to this world and share it with others and be pure in your creation.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna once again show everyone this. Make a wish, because by the time we have the new moon solar eclipse in Leo in the middle of August, where everything is in a new places, new placements, new places, and this is a number one. You might be surprised just how many things might have changed by then, might be different, completely different. So yes, we are in a physical form, physical body, we are humans having an experience, and there are a lot of obligations, responsibilities, and mundane, tiring things that come with it, but at the same time you are still a child of the universe. So give yourself time and space in this mundane to connect with that aspect of you as well. And this is where I feel, and we feel, especially once Uranus moves into Gemini, we will be experiencing reality from multiple levels of consciousness. It will be not just you as a human, but there will be something else also being much more present in your reality, and now is the time to nurture it so it can start coming online and becoming more present. So it's not just about the limitations that the 3D might make you to believe that's all there is.
Yeah, take care of the temple of self and spirit will dwell there. So you build it, they come, it comes, you know, invest in yourself, bring your foundation to reality.
Yeah, the world is in your hand.
All right, so I think this is good for this reading, for this full moon in Leo. And we will be doing some creative new endeavors related to Sunlight Soul. We're going to create a Substack and have some opportunities for people to become engaged with the readings and, just partake in the creative energy. You know, we have to bring our creation into existence, otherwise we consume.
Yes, we have a lot of ideas. So let's see what the 6 months of this Leo stirring will bring into manifestation, so it can create more connection and opportunities for interaction in a real time.
Exactly. All right, well, thank you for watching and take care.
Bye.